So the plan is to come out of this 400 amp service, knock out a 3/4 knockout from the bottom of here, come down 90 out of here, 3/4 PVC, strap it to the wall. That's why we got the anchors and the anchor kit. Strap it to the wall. First box, first disconnect box. This is a disconnect box. It's 60 amp, but if you put, this is for a 30 amp, 240 volt circuit, no neutral. If you put, you can size it down for the right size breaker. You could put a 2-pole 30 amp breaker, even though it's a 60 amp disconnect. The breaker would, the 2-pole 30 amp breaker would make it a 30 amp disconnect, or good for 30 amps. So we're gonna mount one here. We're gonna come out of here and mount the second one there. We're gonna run our 10 gauge stranded wire. We're gonna phase them, 2 hots in the ground, and we're gonna put this thing together, man. We got our hammer drill. I like to use a power. I got battery operated hammer drills, but I like to use battery powered ones. I mean, not battery powered ones, real powered ones. So that, we got to turn the power on, but these are a lot better. Go through the concrete, get your job done a lot faster. The sun is out here, so we got to work quick. I like to lay everything out, have everything kind of somewhat organized. Organize your job. It's just as important as the job itself. You know the AC units coming out because these are the hot and cold sets. Anytime you see this copper like this in a drain, you know AC units gonna go here. The AC units are 240 volt, 30 amps. They don't require neutral. So 2 hots in the ground per unit. We're gonna get power on and we're gonna get started. Just the 400 amp meter socket disconnect. These are the breaker spaces. We're gonna put 2 30 amp 2-pole breakers in there to feed the ACs. And we're gonna open this baby up. All right. So this is where your power comes in to the breaker. This is the line side. This is the load side. As you can see, the load side is tied into these 2 bus bars, and they feed the panel. And these are breaker slots that if you wanted to feed something outside, I love when I see meter sockets that have breakers on the outside, so you don't always have to come from the inside panel. If they got some outside stuff here, hot tub, AC units, whatever, they can feed it directly from this panel on the outside. That's always a plus. I love to see it. I like to put the parts inside the panel so you don't lose them if possible. And let me put the breakers in first. Grab those. This is a square D system. This is called a needle nose pliers right here. I use these to knock out the perforated holes for this 3/4 PVC connector. So I'm gonna knock it out on the inside. Anytime you're working inside of a panel, whether it's powered or not, just always treat it like it's hot. I know no power is going to this panel, but I'm still gonna work it like it's safe. So I knocked out that 3/4 hole, got my 3/4 PVC connector in here with my lock ring. We're gonna start putting this thing together. This thing goes together like a puzzle, man. So that's the connector. Anything you do with electrical, you want it to be tight, torqued. Electricity vibrates. So you want to make sure everything is tight. It's your PVC glue that we're using. What glues the PVC together. We're gonna come out of this connector in 90. You know, PVC is kind of flexible, so you can kind of make it do what you want it to do. Put your glue in an area where it won't spill, because I've seen people put the PVC glue on the ground and spill it all over the ground. Now you don't have what you need to put your run together, your conduit run together. Kind of direct it that way. Then I'm gonna run a stick of PVC out from there, and I'm gonna strap it as we go. That's the first piece. So that's your PVC connector, 3/4 PVC connector. That's your 90. Now we can go towards our AC units. I like to get 5 feet sticks, so makes it easier to deal with. You don't have to cut a whole 10-foot stick, and it's easy to transport. You want to get at least 1 inch of PVC glue around the edge of that pipe. And then when you put it in, you want to twist it. You want to turn it so it kind of locks in. You want to push it all the way in, but kind of like turn it. I was leaking on my stuff. So I put a level on here, put some straps on here. We'll go from there. This is what you call a level. You want to make sure that bubble is in between the 2 lines. So we're going to strap this guy, but I want to make sure we are level. If you zoom in on that, man, you see I'm in between the 2 lines, man. That's how you know that you level. Anything other than that is going to be crazy. Oh, let me talk about these straps, right? So sometimes I let my customers buy their material, give them a material list. So he got these metal straps, which may be cool, but they're not outdoor proof. So eventually these will rust. If it was me, I would have got a PVC. I told him to get PVC 2-hole straps. He got these metal ones. So we're going to put them on because that's what he got. But I recommend PVC straps because this is PVC and it won't rust over time when the rain and cold weather hit it. So let's see what we got. All right. Make sure I'm level. This is how you thug it, but we got that top hole in. It's not the right strap and it's not deep enough, but we're gonna make it work. We got our top hole, put our anchor in, and we'll make it work, man. A good electrician can always work around anything. It's never we can't do something. It's all we always can do. We can do anything. I like the hammer. Once you drill those out with a hammer drill, I like the hammer. Oh man. Back up off of them. Oh man. Yeah, it's part of the job. If you ever had a yellow jacket bite, you'll give them all the respect because that bite is like a dog bite. I don't play with them yellow jackets. I get out their way. Oh, Lord. Just give him a minute. He want to bite somebody. He on your head now. So the strap is what's going to hold the conduit on the wall straight. You want it to be straight. Everything you do, you want to put a level on it. You want it to be straight. You want it to be tightly fastened to the wall. We run the conduit first. We'll put the disconnect boxes up, and then we'll pull the wire last. Like I said, I would never use metal straps, metal anything outside if I didn't have to. Strap level. Like I say, always use PVC straps when you're working with PVC outdoors if you can. That way you won't have to, couple years, you won't see this rusted out. So next step is we're gonna give me some PVC glue and a coupling. Give me a coupling. It's a bag of couplings right there. 3/4 couplings, yep. Open them up, give me one. So I showed you the connector, the 3/4 connector ties into the actual meter socket box. This is a 3/4 90. This is a 5-foot stick of PVC. This is a strap. This is a coupling. This is how you attach 2 pieces of pipe. So you put it on the end here. We're gonna put some PVC glue in there. And I always like to twist it. Turn it till it don't turn. Push it all the way in and turn it till it won't turn no more. That's one end of it. Now I can put another stick up. Get these out of my way. I'm gonna put another stick up. We're gonna put some PVC glue on the end of that. Stick it in and spin it till it don't go no more. That's how we're gonna do that. I might put 1 to 2 straps on each 5-foot stick. It just depends on, I don't want my pipe to sag, so I'm gonna bring my strap down here. Not my strap, but my level. Down here, I'm gonna put my PVC glue up so I don't waste it. Put it somewhere safe. They're not holding a lot of weight, so I would probably strap it 1 strap per 5 foot. Get it done by any means. And when you do electrical work, for all my young electricians, young aspiring electrical contractors, do it like it's your house. Do the best job you possibly can do, man. I promise you the money will come, but the quality will last. The quality will keep your name out there. Let people know if you call Percy, if you call Handy Electrician, you know it's gonna be done right. You're gonna pay, but it's gonna be done right. All right. We're close, we in there. There we go. There we go. Bam, in there. Now, we're gonna put a connector on this end and mount the disconnect. This is called my disconnect. These are commonly used for AC units, water heaters, etc. I like to take it apart so you can really work with it. Get that out. This is a pull-out, non-fusible pull-out. This is so when the AC guy is working on the AC, he can pull the plug on it and make sure no power is going to it. They call these a non-fusible pull-out. Instructions, get them out of there. So break it down to the bare disconnect. You see my needle nose. I'm gonna go in and out with a 3/4. So I'm gonna go straight through. So some of the wires are gonna go to here. The second feed is gonna go through and feed to the second disconnect. So you wanna be careful with these. You wanna make sure you get the right perforated knockout. Because if not, you'll have a hole too big. There we go. You don't want a too big hole. You'll have to use some other type of equipment. You don't want to have to run to Home Depot, so you want to make sure you get the right hole out. Just through there, put the lock ring on there, lock it down. Come up here and hold this up for me. Just hold this like that. I'm gonna put the level on here. I'm gonna make some marks so we'll know. I'm just gonna anchor this guy. So I want to level it here and here. So I want to make sure I'm level here first. All right. So we're knocking out another hole so we can go out and feed the next disconnect. The first, we're gonna feed two 30 amp 240 volt circuits through this 3/4 pipe. One of the circuits, 240 circuits, is gonna feed this one. Then the second one is gonna go through to feed the next disconnect. So I'm just opening it up so we can feed it through. They're gonna be two different lengths. One's gonna be shorter than the other, but both of the AC units gonna get fed off this one 3/4 pipe. Putting the 3/4 connector in. And man, I like to do stuff the easy way, man. Since I got these 5-foot sticks, I'm not gonna cut it. I'm gonna just put the other 5-foot stick on it, and it's gonna work. Hand me that 5-foot stick of PVC, please. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So we got our glue, we got our PVC. A good electrician is a lazy electrician, man. He always think things through and make things as easy as possible for him. A good electrician can wire your whole house with a set of Kleins and a screwdriver. So I'm always trying to figure out the easiest, best way to do everything. I'll level this guy. Let's open that disconnect up. We're done with this PVC glue. Put that up. And we can start cleaning up too, like all that plastic, anything that those disconnect boxes, we done with those. You can leave the anchors, but you know, I like to clean up as I go. Yeah. Or you could put those connectors in one of those disconnect boxes. You know, he could take that back to Home Depot. We're gonna knock out the 3/4 perforated knockout. You wanna always be careful with this, because if you knock out too much, the hole gonna be too big. Then you have to go get washers. Instead of getting it done, take you another hour. Take an hour off your time because you gotta run to Home Depot to get washers. Put the disconnect on, put the lock ring on the connector. Make sure we level. We level down here. That's good there. I want to be level right here. Let me see the pencil, Asia. You see one of them pencils, or do I got it? Yep. Thank you. Double check my level over here. I'm still good there. Do our hammer drill thing. Thank you. Remember, always hammer that anchor in. You want that thing to be as tight as possible. If it's too loose, the anchor is gonna just spin when you screw it in. You want it to be tight as possible. Small guy. All right, 3 screws, the skinny ones. So now we got all the disconnects mounted. We got the conduit mounted. This is disconnect number 2, and we usually will label them. Label this disconnect for AC number 2. Ran our conduit. This is a connector, 3/4 PVC connector, pipe, strap. Disconnect number 1, 3/4 connector, pipe, 3/4 pipe, strap, coupling, pipe, strap, 90 to the connector. We're gonna pull wires in here, and we're gonna wire them to each AC1, AC2. We got to pull the wires now, make the terminations, button everything up. These will be done. We're about to measure our wire runs. We got the conduit, we got the disconnect boxes mounted. Now we got to pull 2 hots, 10 gauge, 30 amp, 2 hots and 1 ground to each disconnect. One is further, so it's gonna be longer than the other one. So I'm gonna use this measuring tape to kind of basically see how much wire I need. And one thing about pulling wire, you rather have more than less. So always give yourself a couple extra feet. So I'm gonna say 2 feet. And I'm gonna go from here to here. So I'm thinking 13 feet. I got a little bit over 10 feet here. So 10 feet, 11 feet plus 2 feet, that's 13 feet. So I'm gonna pull off 3 13-foot runs of 10 gauge stranded wire. I'm gonna color code it so I can feed it from here to that disconnect. Then I'm gonna measure the other one. Let's go down to here. See if you can hold me down here. So 3 13-foot runs and 3 19-foot runs. 3 because you got 2 hots and 1 ground. So we're gonna do 3 runs. These are 30 amp breakers, man. I wanna show you guys how to test and see if the breaker works. This is just a little hack, right? So follow me. So I'm turning it on. If you tap this on the ground, the breaker should trip. If the breaker doesn't trip, that means something is defective. Let me show you. I'm gonna hit it on this concrete right here. It tripped. If you tap it like that and your breaker don't trip, that's a good way to test your breakers even before you leave Home Depot, Lowe's, or the supply house. Let me show you again. Turn it off and turn it back on. And when you tap it on the ground, it should go to the trip position. One more time, here we go. It tripped. That's a good way to show how if your breaker is working properly. Percy Hampton, handy electrician. So we about to pull off wire. So a little hack that I always like to use when pulling off wire, when you got stranded wire, get you a screwdriver or something. So when somebody's measuring it, the other person can hold it like this. So I'm gonna get Asia to hold this, and I'm gonna pull off 19 feet. Can you hold that too? So let's go this way. So I'm gonna pull it off. I need 3 19-foot runs. I'm gonna do the longer runs first. I like to do the longer runs first, so that's 19 foot. And we're gonna pull it tight for me. Pull the wire back tight. All right, hold me right there. Once you get one, now you cut that there. Now we're gonna hold that wire. And I'm gonna give you that so you can cut the next one when I tell you. Is that cool?
Yeah, that's cool.
All right. So just a slick hack. These are my 2 hots. Make sure they're the same length. All right.
Doesn't matter which one I do?
I'm gonna cut it right here. So I don't wanna waste any wire, so I'm gonna cut it right here. You wanna make them even as possible. So now we do one more. I'll do the cutting. Since you're gonna cut me too long, just hold me there. All right, hold them together, kind of keep them together. Try to find the easiest way to do stuff. All right. This is one run. The next one, if I'm not mistaken, is 13 feet. All right, so we get the measuring tape. That's one run. We put that to the side, we'll color code that. All right, 13. That's where we at. Now we're gonna cut it right there. We don't need the tape now, all we need is the wires. Here, hold this in too. You always want to color code your wires on both ends so you know exactly what you got. So you know what's a hot and what's a ground. If not, you're gonna be ohming it out. It's a way to find out what's what, but you would definitely have to ohm it out with your meter. But if you label it in the beginning, you won't have to do none of that. One more. Hold them two. Look how we did that perfectly. Almost ran out. That's why I always like to do my longer runs first. Bam. All right, we got our 2 runs. We're gonna color code these. We're gonna push them through. Let's see what we got. We gotta make a head. We gotta actually push all these through. This right here in my hand is called a fish tape. This is how we pull wires through conduit. So I'm gonna push this fish tape. I always push away from the source of power because I don't ever want to push a metal fish stick into a hot panel. This is not hot, but I still work it like it's hot. So we're gonna push it away from the panel. So it works like this. This is the head of the fish stick. It's always smooth and rounded. If it breaks off, you can always bend it and do you another head with your clients, but it pulls off like this. You hold the handle and you just basically pull it off, just like this. I like to pull off what I think I'm gonna need so I don't have to really be fighting with it. Sit it down. You gotta be careful, especially this is metal. You know, you gotta be really careful when you got open panels like this because if this accidentally hits somebody, that metal panel, you dead. So stick it in the hole. Should push fairly smooth. When it gets to the first box, we're gonna hear it. If you look right there, it's out the first box. And then what we would do, we would attach our wires here, attach and tape it, and pull it back through. This is the fish tape. Another thing I want to show you guys, this is called premium synthetic wax. This is what we use to pull wires. So when I'm pulling a wire, I'm gonna cut this, I'm gonna put some of this in the conduit. This is like, I'm gonna go there with y'all, but this is like the equivalent of KY jelly, but for electrical wiring. This will lube up the hole up the conduit so it'll make your pulls come through a lot smoother. Remember, electrical KY jelly, if you know what I'm talking about. But news you can use, tips you can use. Percy Hampton, handy electrician, always trying to make life simpler for you when it comes to the electrical. Always turn off that power, always be safe. And if it's over your pay grade, you don't think you can handle it, call an electrician. Percy Hampton, handy electrician.